sharing one of the things we have shared before is this Day by Day with James Allen book. And I wanted to start today with just a little meditation slash um, a little personal development. And because this is actually on the third day of the month, today's November 3rd, and it says, "Don't quit. Your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they shall not remain so if you only perceive an ideal and strive to reach it. You cannot travel within and stand still without." And that's a quote from As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. So I'm just going to read two paragraphs because I want to talk about this kind of as a foundation of our call today. It's when things seem worse that you mustn't quit. In our darkest hour, it's hard to see the end of our circumstance. All we can think of is our conditions worsening. But it's usually at this time that our greatest growth can occur if we'll see the moment as a growth opportunity, if we'll see it as a time to learn how to control our thoughts toward an ideal that we cherish. And then it goes on to say, understanding the power that even the tiniest of actions can have when taken in a negative situation. Remember in science class when we learned that a body at rest tends to remain at rest, or a body in motion tends to remain in motion. This is especially true when overcoming circumstances because paralysis usually keeps us in the condition longer than we'd like. But even more is that once we've started in motion, even though it may not seem like much, know this: it's now only a matter of time before you're out, totally out of the situation that has got you down today. And I love that because I sometimes think about that, in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays in rest. And when we think about Zalise and new Zalise starting October 1st, a lot of us have really almost not been in paralysis, but it's really been that we have been not really sharing the business part of what we do. We've really focused on the products, which are awesome. Products have stood the test of time. And so one of the things that we want to talk about today is a little bit is like how do we refocus in a new world? And I wanted to share the leaderboard just because this kind of shows really who is starting to get in motion right now. And what I want to do is to talk to those people who've been on the US leaderboard specifically and find out a little bit about what they're doing in order to start enrolling, engaging people. And so Christina is 17. Good job, Christina Durham in Evansville. 13 is Carlita Williams. Way to go, Carlita. She's right there. Proud of her in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. Actually survived a little F1 tornado over the last weekend. So grateful for that. Number 10, the Workmeisters, consistent in their leadership and their engagement. The Todds, number 6. And really always proud of the Todds in Pensacola. I'm going to be coming to them first. And then Hal and Lisa finished number 1, and we're going to talk about that as well. But I wanted to first share the Don't Quit poem because they talk about how do we control our thoughts while we begin to work on the ideal that we cherish. And to me, that is the goal. Whatever the goal is that we have for this business, for our personal business, our goals and dreams, which really start as a very short-term goal, and they can actually become much, much larger. And the thing that I would suggest to all of us is yesterday was 8 years for me in Zalise. It was my 8-year anniversary, November 2nd. So today is one day after that. And 8 years later, I am in a totally different world than I was 8 years ago. Would everybody agree with that? I think we all would agree that this is a different world. And so I want to share two statistics that I think are very valid. And I want to hear your thoughts on whether you feel like these are valid. But here's the first one: 74%, so that's 3/4 of Americans are worried about their healthcare costs. True or not true? Yeah. And then the other one, 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. True or not true? I think it's true. And I don't know, I think that it's probably worse today than it was 8 years ago when I started doing this business the first time. But what I believe this Elise platform is, and what I've been talking to Luis and Christy and Hal about, is that I feel like we need to learn how to share those, address those big concerns with people. This is not just about sharing a product, an optional product. This is really discovering how this Elise platform can help us focus consistent resources on prevention or wellness, being proactive in our health, while learning to create a return on your investment. And that is two separate pieces. One of them is kind of the health and wellness piece. The other one is the value on the dollar piece. And so with that, that is really what I want this time in Zalise to, for myself and for my team. I want to suggest to you that people are afraid of how much healthcare care is costing. They're afraid of that. We've already survived one pandemic that did not go well. They're a little bit more educated on big pharma and on the downsides of Western medicine, and yet they don't have a lot of money to spend. And so with that, I want to talk to the Todds first. Yeah, I think they're probably driving right now, but the Todds have been an amazing Zalise ambassadors over the weekend. They hosted 3 different events with Luis, one in Spanish and then 2 in English. And when I looked at their schedule, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad that's not me. I thought it for a wee second, because that is a lot, a lot, a lot. So Jenny Todd or Steve Todd, are you guys here? Can you talk to us a minute?
Yeah, we're here. We're sitting in a car at a Circle K gas station, so I'm not going to turn the camera on, but we're going to talk. So, Lisa, thank you so much for inviting us to talk on the call tonight about our Friday night and Saturday. I appreciate that, and I'm just going to be honest with everybody, And Lisa, your segue into the book, which I read every day. I love that book. Don't quit today. So that's a great segue into for our weekend. But Friday night, Steve and I are wanting to tap into the Latin American market because it's the fastest growing area of Zalise. So, when when Luis asked on I don't know if it was Freedom Call or what, we want to come to your town. So we said, come to Pensacola. Well, we were all excited. And then when you turn that Zoom off, you get thinking about it, you kind of get everything in a wad, why did I say that? But anyway, so we want to tap into the Spanish market, the Latin American market. So, not knowing we didn't know anybody. So what I did was I got on Google and I looked up Mexican grocery stores, Mexican restaurants, Mexican businesses. And I came up with a list of 11 places to stop at. So Luis sent me the flyer that they made up for the meetings that we had. I printed it out and I went in and just introduced myself, gave them the flyer, talked to them about this opportunity. And some of them spoke English, some of them didn't. They look at me like a deer in headlights, And the only thing I could think of to say, I would talk a little bit in English, and I had the flyer in front of me, and I would say, comprende, comprende. So what a ride that was, but so I approached, offered this to 11 different businesses. Well, I got 3 yeses. Yes, they would be there. So, that excited me. So Luis comes and we're there, and my 3 yeses don't show. So we have a no-show. And Luis, I'm going to talk a lot about Luis, because just spending time with Luis really opened my eyes up to what a wonderful, wonderful team of leaders that we have with Zalise now. But Luis was just so gracious and, patient, and everything was fine. So what Steve suggested, and Luis helped us do this. We actually stood there and we made a little short video for me to send to all these Latin Americans that I had contacted. Sorry you couldn't be at the meeting, da 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 da. And then Luis translated it for me. So now I've got a tool that I'm going to send to these people. But and then I'm also going to go back to these people at the particularly these grocery stores. You know, they can sell these products in these grocery stores. So I'm not quitting. I'm going back to these people. Okay, so that's my mission next week, to get back to some of those people. So then move forward to Saturday morning. Had a great session. We didn't show the plan Saturday morning. We had all ambassadors. They were the only ones that were at the meeting. So Luis, again, being the tremendous leader that we have now with this team of leaders, we just kind of had a breakout session, a focus session, if you will. You know, Luis shared part of Zelis's vision for us, but Luis was most interested in what we as ambassadors had to say. You know, how can we make things better? You know, he sat for 2 hours and listened to us and the ambassadors that we had there. They had great suggestions, great ideas. It was such a positive, just a positive um, discussion. But again, this all goes back to Luis. He was there to hear what we, the ambassadors, our side, our opinion, and he just was so patient and gracious. Again, we have tremendous team leaders at Zelis now. We're so excited for Zelis. So then Saturday night, we had the people there. We did an actual presentation, you know, the business opportunity. But once again, we had 2 ambassadors that were there and one of our neighbors that I'd shown the opportunity to. And so she came, but it was a great session too, just very open and ask any questions. And one of our ambassadors has a daughter that lives in Denmark, which we've tried to show the plan to, but she just got married and time wasn't right. But her name came up again, and then another name of an acupuncturist in the UK. So that night, we've got 2 people to go back to, you know, just a lot of sharing back and forth. But again, back to our leadership. Luis is incredible. So when he comes to see you guys in Arkansas, I encourage everyone to bring as many people as you can. Get there, be there, hug Luis, be around Luis. He's real, he's genuine, he has a heart of gold, and all he wants to do is help we, the ambassadors. He's got a listening ear, very willing, but we are so excited about this new Zelis that's coming about, y'all. There are just some great changes. I don't know the changes, but Luis just kind of fed us little tidbits. But y'all, the future for Zelis it's incredible. We're just so excited about it. And we have tremendous leaders now with us in Zelis. And it's just don't quit. Don't quit. Don't get discouraged. Just keep on keeping on. And you know, we're just so excited. So Lisa, thanks for letting us share. Appreciate it.
Jenny, Todd, there's a clip of you doing an amazing job with the endocannabinoid presentation in that Saturday evening meeting. Have you seen it yet?
No, I've not. No.
Well,
I
it's
didn't know
darn
Luis
good.
was doing that.
He took a little video and he sent it to us and said that you guys were amazing, which we already knew that. But I think I also heard that you invited everyone to Arkansas on November the 13th when Luis is here.
That's right. Yes.
So open invitation, you guys. Some of you guys already live in this area. Carlita's not too far, and Barbara Durkee's about an hour away or so. But anybody else who wants to come, we would absolutely love to have you guys. And Jenny, I'm really proud of you guys, just the energy and effort. And it is not easy, like when you're trying to like establish a new target market, like people who speak Spanish, like people who are from Mexico. And you guys did a really good job of just doing the footwork to go and you know, create a new, completely new target market. So I'm really proud of you guys for that. And
Thank
the
you.
thing I also wanted to mention, you know, I think all of us are starting from scratch in some ways. And what I would even suggest to everyone is, you know, it's fine to make contact with people who maybe have fallen off product or have not been fully engaged, but I don't think they count in this new Zelis. I think we have to go back to the drawing board. We create a whole new funnel. I would suggest adding 10 people each week to that funnel and it takes 5 to 12 exposures in that funnel before they're going to make a decision. So it just takes time. So Jenny, we're talking about coming to Pensacola in January. Just
Okay, come
let,
on.
let's do the second wave then. Live.
Sounds great.
We might need to go eat at a few Mexican restaurants, just saying.
That's right. We're gonna
Well,
get
thank you.
Rosa in. I'm getting back to Rosa. I'm gonna have you meet Rosa.
Okay, I want to meet Rosa for sure.
Okay,
Brush
all
up on
right.
my Spanish.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you guys very much.